Oh my god, the host just triple stabbed
Do
me.
you see who's food running tonight?
56 was just sitting there making out the entire time I was trying to take
Why do we
their
have
order.
so many servers on the floor? Did you hear about 73?
This is a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events, is purely coincidental.
All right. Welcome back to Rolling Silverware. This is our post-shift shit talk.
Post-shift shit talk.
This was our first night working together this week.
I know,
Such a long week.
they
I hated
separated
it.
us on purpose.
All week. Yeah. They were like, and they wouldn't even let me see you. You were
I
gone
know.
well before I arrived.
They always cut me well before you came on.
They know. They're like, trouble's coming. We need to get her out of here.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, we can't have both of them on the floor at once.
No.
Not multiple nights in a week. That's too many times.
It's so much fun, though.
I know. It really just makes the shift go by so much better
So
when
much
you're there.
faster. Oh, my God.
A little bit of pre-shift. So my availability, like, on standard is very weird because I
Wild.
only work every other week,
Right.
essentially. And usually I work nights on the weeks that I do on the weeks that I do work, I typically work nights, but this week I accidentally messed up my availability, so I got scheduled all day shifts.
Yeah.
So it's like, great. So I worked all my day shifts, and they were like, fine, whatever. I didn't make any money this week.
Honestly, you wouldn't have made much more at night either.
Fair. I was gonna say this was just a bad week. It's the week after holiday, so I kind of get it. They're never
fair.
super like profitable the week right after a holiday.
No, and that's true, but also, like, I don't know.
Be better.
Or just have less servers on. I don't know. It's almost like there's a way we could
That part.
combat this everybody's making no money thing.
It's so weird to have
Who
8
knows?
servers on tonight.
Yeah.
You were never gonna need that on a Sunday night. You
No.
barely need that on Mother's Day at our
Yeah.
location. Like that's crazy to me. that they had
8 servers
8.
on a Mother's Day would just be a really good night for everybody.
Right.
It would be great.
Yeah, so the week after Easter, like, oh, we don't have a whole lot of reservations, but we might get walk-ins. Is that why so many people are here? Because you're banking on maybe somebody walking in?
Yeah, well,
From
that was like
where?
a weird pep talk too. Like, hey guys, I know we don't have a lot on the books tonight, but like, we're gonna get some walk-ins. You know we are.
From
and
where?
we fucking didn't.
We're nowhere near like
We're not near the movie theater.
we're not near
we're
a
not-
fairground.
No, we're not close enough to even the shopping that people come to our shopping center to do.
Right.
Nobody's walking over to our restaurant.
At some point, you had walked away from pre-shift in the middle
Yeah, I
of our
bounced
server.
because I had to ring in food.
Our server manager starts talking about, I know this is a really hard one, but we really need you guys to, be kind to each other, watch how you speak to each other. And
You're like, this is directed at me.
I literally looked at another server and was like, oh my God, is this play about us? Because it
Oh.
100% was.
Yeah.
After last Easter, we talked about this a little bit, but on Easter, I had an issue where one of my tables, I didn't get an order.
Right.
There was one thing missing from the whole table, so I go into the back and I'm like, hey, can I, get this cheeseburger? It's modded this specific way. And he was like, oh, you had that? And I was like, yeah. And I'm like looking at it on the line. I'm like, yeah, I need that. And then at the same time, 3 or 4 other servers like converged and all of them had, oh, this mac and cheese is cold. This is cooked wrong.
Right.
This is this. And so he starts like dealing with all of them first. And now I'm kind of upset. And then he throws down like a regular cheeseburger, no mods, no nothing. On it. He
Right,
goes,
just
here's
a
your
full
cheeseburger.
cheeseburger.
A full cheeseburger. And he's like, here's your cheeseburger. And I was like, that's not mine. I needed the one, no lettuce, no tomato, dry. And I like point to it. I'm looking at it. And he goes, oh, and then he goes up to it. And he's like kind of looking at it. And I walk away. And I'm like, God, how hard is it to get a fucking cheeseburger around here? Just screaming curse
Pretty
words.
fucking hard. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, very hard. And then the server manager grabbed me in the back. And she was like, just how would you feel if somebody started cursing at you while you were in the weeds? And it's
Right.
like, honestly, I don't even know if it would register.
I don't
that
think
somebody
I'd be
cursed at
that
me.
upset.
But I do know that it registers with a lot of other people, and it's not a professional way
And
to speak
he is,
to
in
somebody.
fact, in charge of
And
us.
he is a manager.
So,
Yeah, of course, later on, I was like, hey, let's go to the back. Like, can we chat? And I bring him to the back, and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't very unprofessional of me, and I shouldn't have spoken to you like
Right.
that. I'm very sorry. And he goes, I honestly don't care. You just can't talk to me like that in front of a lot of other people.
right. It can't be with everyone else present.
Yeah, because the entire, staff is now in
Yeah.
the kitchen screaming at him about some error, and I'm screaming curse words at him. So, and I, just barely became a fan of this kid.
Yeah,
Like,
just a little bit.
because he came in so pretentious when he first started working. He's like, I come from fine dining. I know what I'm doing. Da, da, da. But he didn't. He messed up everything
He
all the time.
repeatedly did not read the tickets.
Yeah, he was so bad on the line. He never knew how to read a ticket. He was messing up the recipes
Yeah.
left and right. He was so bad at his job and yet still walked around like he was
So
God's gift to
conceited.
us.
Yeah. Very,
Get out.
very cocky and proud.
Right, so I couldn't stand him for the longest time.
Right.
And just recently I became a
Yeah,
fan.
I've come around. I think he's fun to work with most of the time.
Yeah, nowadays I'm like, yeah, right, you're fine, whatever.
Right.
Earlier today, it was really funny because one of the bussers, the one that I always talk smack to, that's dating the server, he was like, he's looking at me and goes, "You're nice to everyone but me." And I was like,
That's not true.
right, thank you.
That's very not true.
Started
You need-
polling.
yeah, I was like, hold on. I'm not nice. Not nice, not nice, not nice.
I'm nice to like
nice to me.
3 people in this restaurant and you're top 3. So for me, I started polling people. I looked at the assistant general manager or assistant kitchen manager, and I was like, "Hey, am I nice to you?" And he was like, "That doesn't matter. I like you as a person." And I looked at the bus and I was like, "Do you notice how that was a really nice way of saying fuck no?"
No. You're nice to everyone but me. No, you're not.
I'm nice to 3 people.
Yeah.
And one of them is his girlfriend. I'm slightly afraid of her.
Oh yeah, always. Yeah.
Right?
Forever. She could beat me in a fight very quickly. And
she's so nice. I love her.
and she's adorable and she's sweet and she's good at her job, but I would not come up against her ever at all.
I mean, I would do it, but I would be prepared to lose.
I know. I forfeit. I'm just like, it's fine. No.
My other day shifts were just so like
Blah.
just blah. Nothing to write home about.
Nothing
So
at all really
slow.
this week. It was not a great week.
So earlier tonight, I go in to do my checkout, and the server manager goes, "Hey, do you know what these 2 drinks are?" And I was like, "Well, one of them, the recipe's in the book. The other one, yes, I'm very familiar with it. So a bramble and a swizzle. Do you know how to make those?"
Right.
And I was like, "Yeah." And do you want me to go make those while you do my checkout? Because 72 had ordered those. And she goes, "Yeah, if you could." So I was like, "Great." So I go up, and terrible bartender sitting there. And I was like, "Hey, you good with that swizzle and bramble?" And she was like, "Yeah, I got it." I was like, "Okay, cool." And I walked away. You don't know what you're doing. Like, you don't even know how to make a proper old fashioned, because earlier in the week, this chick makes me so angry. Every single thing I say to her is an argument.
Every single time.
Hey, you need to shake the drinks more so that, it fills more of the glass. Well, I've seen other, people do it. I saw the regional bar manager do it, and she did it this way. And it's like, okay, then fail your bar quiz. I don't know what to tell you, dog. Like,
when I corrected her on the mojito glass that day, and I was like, "Oh, the mojito actually comes in a 16-ounce beer glass, not a tapered glass." For a mojito? Yeah, for a mojito. I don't think so. Okay, you don't fucking think so. All right.
you've been a supervisor, server, bartender, and bar trainer for
Yeah,
this
but
location.
fuck me.
But yeah.
What do I know?
You know nothing. Yeah, the other day I go to I put in an old fashioned, and she makes it with 0.5 simple syrup.
Right.
And I was like, wow,
That's a lot. Did they ask for extra sweet?
no. And so I'm like, oh, that's a lot of simple. And she goes, it's 0.5. And I was
It's
like,
not.
and
It's
I
in
was-
fact not.
I was like, no, it's 0.25. And she was like, I've always made it 0.5. This is how I've made it every single time. Nobody's ever sent it back. And I'm like,
And
okay.
you're always making it wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
So I bring it out to my table. I'm like, whatever, I'm not going to argue it with you.
Yeah.
But then the minute I go to management and I'm like, hey, the close last night was awful. There were 5 ice trays left out. There, you know what I mean?
Nothing was done.
Nothing was done. Nothing was covered. Like, the close last night was really bad. And then they pull her aside to be like, hey, your clothes is, needs work. You need to make sure that these things get done. And then she confronts me,
Yeah.
like, just tell me. Why wouldn't you just tell me? Like, you have no reason to go to management. Just tell me. Why the fuck would I
Because
go
you're
to you?
failing on so many fronts, and anytime I talk to you,
It's
you
an
want to
argument.
start a fucking fight with me about it.
Right. If you're going to fight me with everything I say,
Every single step of the way is a fight.
yeah, I'm literally never going to talk to you about anything then.
No.
I'm just always going to go to management and let them know what you're doing wrong, because you don't take criticism or
No.
you don't take direction. So,
Well, and I've had to remind her that she's missing an ingredient in one of our classic cocktails multiple times. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, probably 4 or 5. And it's like, hey, that one ingredient that's in fact on the list that a guest is reading, so maybe you should put that in there. I don't know. Tonight, speaking of drinks she's making wrong,
great.
I covered for her while she took her cigarette break, right?
Yes.
And so, first and foremost, I did not make a Cosmo in that time. She's the only one that made or you made a Cosmo.
I made it.
You made it. That's right. You were behind the bar with me. So I help her out, and then when she comes back, and then I'm almost leaving, I walk over to just like clean up my section a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, do you put lime in your Cosmos?"
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I'm all, "Yeah, it's one of the main ingredients." Yeah, and she's like, "Well, I just didn't know. Everybody makes them a little bit different, and I didn't know how you did it." I was like,
No, we actually have.
"No, no, hold on, no, hold on, no, hold on, no." It gets better.
I'm getting angry.
It gets better. It
my
gets better.
my blood pressure is rising.
And then I go, "Oh, well, in the actual classic cocktail, because the guy who invented the Cosmo calls for it to have lime juice and cranberry juice in it." Like, and I know that because I saw it on Drink Masters or whatever it was, and they had that guy on the show. So I was like, "No, it's always with lime juice." And she's like, "Yeah, I was just asking. I was just asking because I wasn't sure. Like, how I want it. This is the second one to go out, and I want it to taste the same." And I look at her and I go, "We have a recipe for the Cosmo."
Right.
I, in fact, follow the recipe for the Cosmo. But I also knew in my head, I didn't make that other fucking Cosmo, so it doesn't really matter. But also, yeah, just follow the recipe and you should be fine. Like, all our drinks should always come out tasting the same because we're all following the recipe, right?
That's the point of a corporate restaurant.
Right?
Right?
Right? And so I was just like, I mean, we do have a recipe for Cosmo. And right at that point, supervisor walks around the corner. So she's like, "No, I know. No, I know. I know. No, I was just checking with you. I was just checking with you how you did it. That's all I know. It's just a question." And in my head, I'm like,
Shut up.
it wasn't just a question. How are you fucking making them then?
I was gonna say, it's not like she's never made a Cosmo, so if she didn't know that we had a recipe for it, or she's just doing it like
Just off top of her head, however she wants?
just
I have
how
no
she
idea.
thinks a Cosmo's supposed to taste. Like, that was one of my biggest complaints with the trainee that ended up getting fired for other reasons.
Right. He just wanted to fly off the rails and just make stuff
Yeah,
however he wants to
He
make
absolutely, and in the middle of training, he was just like, "No, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't like the way that this recipe sounds, so I'm not going to do it like that." And I'm like, "Okay, well, this is a corporate restaurant. Like, you have to do
Yeah.
it that way. I don't know what to tell you. Like, what do you, and he was just literally change the recipes as he's making them and just be like, "No, watch, this will taste better." And then I
I don't
tasted
really
it.
care how it's going to taste.
It's different. It tastes different, and that's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Is if somebody comes to our location and gets a drink and then goes to a different location and gets the same drink, it needs to taste the same.
It needs
It's
to
not
taste the same.
meant to taste
They're
different.
getting the drink they wanted,
Right.
not the drink you're making up off the top of your fucking head.
Right, because if they go to a different location and they're like, "Oh, I got this drink, but it tasted so different at this other location. Can you make it how they made it?" How is that other location going to have any idea?
Right.
Like, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not like there's a huge group chat between all the bartenders of
It's
every
everybody.
location of our corporate
70
restaurant.
group chats.
Right,
Yeah,
to just
70
be
people
like,
group chat.
Hey,
Hey,
by
by the way, this is how I'm making the Cosmo now. No
Right.
lime juice.
it sounds, you know what, it tastes really great if you put like a little bit of extra simple in there. Like, no.
No.
I've been having, I don't know, I can't, I've been having a lot of issues with her. I noticed the other day she left I was walking in at 4:30 and she was walking out at 4:30.
Right.
Which meant that the bartender that was coming on for the night shift, literally, she left the bar before that person even got back from their official break.
Right.
Because they can't take it until 4.
Right.
And sometimes
And
even a
normally
couple
you're there
minutes
until
after.
like 4:45, sometimes even 5 o'clock if I'm still doing the poll or whatever
At
else.
least, like, you have to check out with the other bartender that's coming on to just be like, "Hey, is
No,
there
apparently you
anything
just
else?"
get to walk out.
She literally threw her drawer in the office and was just like, "Hey, I'm ready to check out. Let's go." Before the other bartender even got back from the break. And
No.
he was the one that was celebrating with us from another location. And so when I talked to him about it, he was like, "If it was my location, yeah, I would have been kind of mad and I would have said something. But
Yeah.
honestly, like, here,
Not really much.
yeah, what am I going to say? What am I going to do?" But like, that sucks for him.
Yeah.
Like, this
Now
guy
he's
doesn't
picking
even,
up her slack.
yeah, and he doesn't even
all
work
because
for
she's
our
shitty.
location.
Yeah.
Like, gross. And I don't know, she's the worst. She's great with guests. I've seen her with guests.
I've seen her with her guests. She is really good with the guests. She's got a
So-
shit attitude with everybody else.
Such an awful attitude with her coworkers. She's awful to work with.
Yeah.
But she's really great with guests. So I don't know.
I guess we're keeping her.
I guess so. But we need to keep her on night shifts and day shifts by herself, not with
Yeah.
other bartenders.
No, because there's other people that don't want to work with her already.
Yeah.
People that don't want to work with her.
The new bartender, didn't she have like a massive issue with her?
She had a pretty decent problem when I came in yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and she came up to me, and because I was taking over the tables in the lounge, and I was like, "Oh, are you keeping these tables?" She's like, "Yeah, it was really slow for me today, so I was gonna stay to close them out." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Like, doesn't fucking matter to me."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, I had to walk away a few seconds ago because when terrible bartender got here, she looks at me and she's like, I was making drinks for the couple sitting closest to me, and she walks up and she goes, 'Those two are mine.'" And it's like, okay, hold on. you haven't even like checked in with your morning bartender. You're not even like, hey, what's the vibe? What's going on? Like, who's this? Who's that? How far along are they? There's so many better ways you could phrase that other than just like, those two are mine. So,
Even, like, let's talk about the fact that the daytime bartenders most days aren't making a whole lot of
No.
money. Like, they're there for 7 hours. They're doing so much work. And
all
they're-
of your prep, you have nothing to prep because of your morning bar.
Right, and they're barely making any money. So the pop that they get at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like, you should be able to keep that.
Right.
Like,
And
you're
so
there
granted,
all night. What do you care?
she hasn't even had a chance to put any kind of food in for this couple, but also she was currently making their drinks. So she ended up turning around and going, okay, great, these are their drinks, you finish them. And she walked away because, like,
Good for
that's a
her.
super rude way to handle that
Yeah.
situation. Just say, hey, how's it going? What's up with 3 and 4? What's up with 12 and 11? You know, like, let me get a feel for what I'm coming into.
Is there anything I can grab for you when you
Right.
finish these drinks? Is there something I can do for these guests? Like,
No,
how-
just
how can
those
I
are
help?
mine.
Ew.
Great. And then today, I got there 4, and I'm lounge, and terrible bartender, already had 31. But 31 was our manager that's leaving and his family. It was supposed to go to one of our morning servers.
Right.
Terrible bartender walks up and just immediately greets them and starts taking over. And it's like, that's a guaranteed probably higher than 20% tip because he works for us.
She's just snaking tables from
Yeah.
servers?
So, and then I walked up because she goes on break, right? Because she was the nighttime bartender tonight. So she goes on break. I walk up. I'm chatting. This is my favorite manager. Of course, I'm going to stand there and chat with him. And then I help them with a couple of things. I refill their waters. I pick up the check because we needed to re-ring in another margarita. So I pick up the check. I ring in the margarita. New bartender didn't know how to pick up the check, right? So I showed her. And then I'm back talking to the table. She comes back from her break, and I pick up a plate from manager's wife. And as I turn around, she goes, I'll take that. I've got it. And she immediately goes over to the computer and takes the table back off my screen. 1, I wasn't going to close this table out. You can fucking relax. And 2, it wasn't yours in the first place.
No, it was a server. That's
It
a
was
server
supposed to go to a
section.
server. Also, she rang in a salad for manager's wife with salmon on it. Didn't modify it as entree. So guess what was ready before any of the other food was ready?
And they don't even start making the other food until that salad is finished.
And I saw it up at the line, and Morning Hammer was going to go run it. And I was like, don't run that. I think it's supposed to go all together. Because, of course, he's going to eat with his whole family.
Yeah, but I absolutely petty me. I'd have been like, yeah, run that. That's how she put it in. I'm so sorry. This is the only thing on the line. Let me go check that.
Yeah,
Oh, it
let
looks
me
like
go
they
see.
just started on the rest of your food. That's so
It's going to
weird.
be another 20 minutes.
We'll get it out for you as soon as
Yeah.
we can. I would have thrown
15
her.
minutes at least for the rest of their food.
Would have thrown her so far under the bus. So I would have drop kicked that bitch
Well,
right underneath the fucking axles. Like, I do not. I'm so done with all of her nonsense. The
No.
fact that she's now snaking tables from servers as well as trying to, like, snake from other bartenders. Get out.
Oh, but she wanted to stop me today and make sure that she thanked me for covering her shift
Fucking a month
2
ago.
weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it was a while ago. I haven't
so
been
long
behind the
ago.
bar in a while.
Yeah.
So yesterday, at the bar, there was this very pretty red-colored martini sitting up at the bar, ready to be ran, but it was waiting on one more thing. And our GM walks up to it, and she goes, "What is that?" And our new bartender confidently says out loud, because I even made a comment. I go, "Yeah, that looks really good." Our new bartender confidently says out loud, "Oh, that's a raspberry New Am dirty martini." What? It's what? I'm sorry. And she goes, "Yeah, it's a raspberry New Am dirty martini." And I immediately, our general manager is looking at the ticket. I rip it out of her hand because I'm like, what the fuck? That's what was rang in. It was rang in a New Amsterdam martini, modified raspberry, dirty, and then no garnishes. And I look at our general manager. I'm like, you need to find that server. That's wrong. That's wrong. Like you made that as the general manager's tasting it, and then her whole face is like, ugh. And I'm like,
That
oh
is
shit.
Combination I cannot.
I never
even
want to imagine. Nobody ordered that.
Nobody's
I
ever
tried
ordered
it.
that.
It was fucking horrendous. It was like forward tasting sweet, and then just this coating of olive juice all over your tongue with the astringent vodka taste.
No.
Hitting you the rest of the way down, and it lingered in my mouth for way too fucking long.
I don't
So
think I could make that. If
I
somebody
wouldn't have
would've-
made it.
if
There's
somebody
no
put
way
that
I
in.
would have. There's no fucking way. There's no way I would have made that drink. I would have read that and gone, "This is wrong. I'm not making this."
I wouldn't even gone to the server. I would have gone straight to the table and been like, "Hi, you ordered a raspberry dirty martini." Like,
No.
I would have passed up the server completely if
Right,
they
so-
rang that in. Absolutely not. That is disgusting.
It's so bad. So general manager talks to server. She comes back and she goes, "That's what they ordered." And I go, "No, they fucking didn't. No, they didn't. Nobody does that." And
Nope.
so general manager, runs it and the other cocktail to the table. She comes back about 30 seconds later,
Drink in hand.
drink in hand,
Of course.
and says, "Oh, she actually wanted a raspberry rum martini." And I was like, "Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Like a rum martini, weird, but okay, I don't care. Anything
lot of
makes
rum,
more
yeah.
sense than
Raspberry dirty? Ugh.
a dirty raspberry martini." Ugh, 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 no, absolutely not.
It's making my stomach hurt just thinking about the combination that would taste like.
It stayed on my tongue for so fucking long. Like it just did not go away at all. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But I was so surprised that one server heard that order and thought, "Yeah," and then rang in that order and still while reading it while they fucking typed out raspberry was like, "Yeah, that's something people drink."
Who was the server on that one?
Pretty sweet girl.
The young one.
The young one.
The one
Yeah.
that's under 21.
She's under 21, so I'll give her a little bit of leeway. Like, maybe she doesn't know what goes with what, but, like, she knows dirty means olive juice. She knows that. I know she knows that.
Well, yeah, because she's a server, but
So, raspberry olive juice. I don't know. But then, like I said, so this went through, there was 3 steps that happened, and nobody caught this. Like, she took the order, didn't catch it. She rang in the order, still didn't catch it. And then the bartender made the order and didn't think twice about it. Like, she's so compliant. She's just like, "Yep, that's what that says."
even then the general manager tasted it, saw how awful it was, and then
Tasted
still
how
took
horrendous it
to
was.
the
Yep.
table.
And still took it all the way out to the table. Like, no. And like you said, I would have talked to the server, and if the server told me, "Yeah, that's what they ordered," I would have gone,
No, it's
"No,
not.
it's not." And then I would have gone and I would have talked to the table.
Nobody in the history of the world has ever ordered
No,
that order.
and nor should they ever. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not even worth trying.
0
It's
out
not-
of 10.
It's like one of those things that you would make up in a truth or dare game to give to somebody.
Like you're in 8th grade, like sleepovers,
Right.
and you're just mixing things in a blender
Right,
with,
yeah, like
ketchup
mustard and fucking, yeah, and soy sauce and whatever, and you give it to your friend's little brother
like
to
an old
drink.
hot
Right.
dog.
Yeah. That's what this tasted like. Like, ha ha ha, let's order a shit cocktail. Like, what? Was this an April Fool's joke on their
Ugh.
friend that was going to show up later? Like, that's the only way that this could have ever been ordered intentionally. Ugh. God, it will haunt me for a long time. But I will admit, it looked so goddamn pretty in that glass. Like, it was the prettiest color of red. It was all chilled.
Yeah.
And there was an orange peel
was
or
gonna
an
say-
orange slice as like an orange twist.
Pink drink in a martini glass would automatically make me think either a Cosmo
A Cosmo. Or a raspberry lemon drop.
raspberry lemon drop.
That's what I thought it was.
Both of those I'm a fan of.
Because she started with raspberry. Like, I was actually walking away because I wanted to try it, but then I was like, now the general manager's trying it. I'll just walk away. This is before we knew what it was. And then so I'm walking away and I hear raspberry new am and I'm like, yeah, okay. And she goes, dirty martini. And I'm like, what? And I backed up. I was like, what is it? It's like, yeah, it's a raspberry new am dirty martini. I go, fuck no.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. And it shouldn't be. That's an abomination. Why did you?
I know,
Our shakers are
abomination.
now tainted. Can we throw those ones away? This martini glass straight in the trash because nobody needs to have. No.
Yeah, every process that has touched this.
Yeah, it needs to
Thing.
just be burnt. It's so bad. I think that's the most outrageous. Like, because I've had people order shitty things before, what I think is going to be shitty, but if like they really want it. But very often I look at people and I go, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want that?" Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Like, somebody wanted to replace the vodka in one of our drinks with tequila, and I was like, I think it
Ooh.
was the one with the grapefruit vodka. They wanted to do it with tequila instead, and I was like,
No.
are you sure about that? Like, are you sure? Because the other ingredients in that are freaking honey and elderflower and lemon.
Yeah, that would taste
None of
awful
which
with
I think
tequila.
would be good with tequila. And they're like, no, I'm gonna give it a shot. Okay, but I ask everybody if they,
Gotta verify.
yeah, if they do something weird with their food, I'm just like, you said what? Can I just say it again?
Yeah.
Give it to me again. And if anybody at my table ever said what I thought was a raspberry New Amp dirty martini, I would go, no.
I'm not putting that
No.
in. You're going to embarrass me in front of the bartender.
Right.
I'm not doing
No.
that.
You go tell him.
Yeah.
This is one of those times that I will allow you to go start your own tab at the bar. You go right the fuck ahead, because I'm not doing it.
No.
No.
So disgusting. Anyway.
So yesterday, I had favorite thing happen to me twice when I walked up to a table because one of my tables had closed out. They still had dessert and drinks still on their table. And then I walk up to it 5 fucking seconds later, and a couple from the bar has moved over and is now scooted all the way into this booth that's still fucking dirty. And I'm like, hey guys, I don't think we've had a chance to clean this table off for you yet. And they're like, yeah, it's dirty.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it is. Can you get up? And they're like, oh, well, I mean, it's okay. I was like, I'd really prefer you get up. I was like, honestly, I need to clear this whole table, and then I need to wipe the whole thing down with like a sanitized rag.
And those are deep tables. It's
yeah,
not like
I
can
know
do it from
you
the
have
end.
to scoot in. Like
Yeah.
I only have this much arm. Like it's not making it to the end. I tell that to people all the time when they won't take something to me. I go, I'm so sorry. This is all I've got.
Yeah.
This is it. Take it. Don't take it.
Please.
Also, get the fuck up and wait for a table. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We just didn't want anyone else to take it. Like, we didn't want it to be taken from us. And I look this way, and I look this way, and I go, I think you're good. Because there was nobody else in the fucking restaurant at that time.
Were there other clean tables, or was the bar was full?
The bar was full. No, 31 was open, but they didn't want that one.
Okay.
So they wanted to be like more in the bar, I guess. I
The
don't know
bar
why.
area, whatever.
Right.
Even then you would think like sitting at the edge of the table or like
Or just
standing
stand
near
over there. Yeah.
stand near the table to be like, hey, is it okay if we get this table? Like that's kind of annoying, but it's way less annoying than walking up and seeing new people with
Right.
full drinks, just like holding them like this table's really dirty. Can you
This
clean
table's
it?
dirty. Oh,
Then why
no
did you
fucking
get in?
way. Yeah.
COVID has taught us nothing.
No, not at all. They don't care. I'm surprised they didn't just start licking the spoons from the people before them.
Just finishing off
Yeah,
the dessert.
I mean, there was still some creme brulee in there. They probably could have.
So disgusting.
No, but yeah, and then it's like, oh, we didn't want anyone else to take it from us. And it's like, okay, well, have you talked to the host? I'm not in charge of the seating of a restaurant. There's rare restaurants are controlled seating by the servers.
Yeah.
Like, I've never worked at one myself. There's always been a host.
And that is on a Saturday night.
Yeah, it was
You
a
don't
Saturday
know.
night. It was early in my night, but still.
You have no idea if that table is gonna be saved for reservations
Right.
later. They were waiting for it to get up so they could put the reserved sign on it. Like
Right.
there's so many options that could be true that
No, they just took it.
ew.
It is dirty. Yeah, it is.
Shocking.
And then, I don't know, maybe half an hour later, while they're still there, I had it happen again. Now, the people at 37 before, it was 3 women, they fucking piled shit on that table and then didn't want me to take any of it because they were still like snacking before they had to book it to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I was over by them and they're like, we need our check. And I'm like, okay. So I give them their check, but I'm also taking drinks to another table. So they pay in cash and they bounce out. So I walk over, I pick up the cash. I pick up like 2 or 3 plates. Like I didn't get
As
all
much
of
as
them.
you can hold, yeah.
Right. And there's still glassware and bar glasses and plates everywhere. And so I leave and I come back and sure as shit, there's a couple scooted all the way in that booth. I can't even take all of this stuff in one go if I want to. I have to get a tray and I also have to make 2 trips. So again, I walk over. Keep in mind, 34's still here. They're going to hear me say the same fucking shit to this new table.
Yep.
I walk over, hey guys, hey, so this table isn't cleaned off yet. Yeah. Okay, if I could just have you step out, maybe if you just want to pop right over here on the bar. We don't want to sit on the bar top. I don't need you to sit on the bar top. I just want you
I
to.
need you out of my way.
Yeah, I was like, if you could just get out of the booth, so therefore I can clean it for you. So I leave, I get rid of half the dishes, I come back, I get the rest of the dishes, I set them on the nearest table. I have a rag with me, and I clean off the table. And as I'm all the way in the booth, she's like, yeah, there was like crumbs everywhere. Yeah, and how did you expect me to get to those if you didn't get the fuck up?
Also, you just sat in them and then
Yeah.
complained about them later?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Why would you even sit? Why would you? No, there's no way ever, anywhere would I ever sit down at a dirty table, ever at all.
No, that's disgusting.
No, I mean, only minor exception I could give to that is if somebody just got up from the bar top and there are no seats anywhere else and you and I are waiting, to sit at the bar top, we're going to scoot over to those seats.
But I'm going to stand I'm going to hold on to the back of that
Right.
seat.
I'm going to be like,
stand
this
there.
is my seat
Yep.
now because these people have closed out, and I will very politely and very calmly wait for them to clear that bar top.
100%.
And I will never fucking say a word about it.
No, I'll be so thankful the minute they come over. It could take them 5 minutes, but the minute they come over
Could take
and
them
start...
10. I wouldn't care.
Yep, they come over, they start cleaning. Hey, guys, thank you so much for your patience. Of course.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you so much.
No, of course. But to have the fucking audacity to even say, like, yeah, it's dirty.
And a shit.
Oh, my God.
Shocking
way.
developments.
You guys weren't sitting here a minute ago and you didn't order this dessert? Are you sure? Oh my god, it's dirty.
I saw a TikTok once where somebody said their favorite thing to do with self-seaters when people sit at a dirty table is to like walk up and start clearing away their drinks and plates and stuff and be like, thank you so much for your for hanging out with us tonight, guys. We'll see you next time. And like treating them as if they're
they're
guests
done.
that were already
right,
there.
that were already there.
And
oh
then,
my god, that would have been so great.
And then treat them when they were like, oh no, we just sat here, but like, oh, but the table's dirty. Like, what are you talking about? And then treating them like they're disgusting
because they are
weird people for sitting
because
at
they are.
Yeah.
I haven't done that one. I wish I that will now go in my roster to
I know.
do.
I'm waiting
I
for
will
someone to
pull
sit
from
at a
that.
dirty
Oh my god,
table.
now I can't wait. Go ahead, sit at my dirty table. It's gonna be fun. I'm so passive aggressive with people who seat themselves and don't have menus.
Mm-hmm.
So when I walk by, busy as all hell probably, but when I walk by and they're like, excuse me, we don't have any menus. I'll look at them and be like, did the host not give you any?
Every time.
Oh my god, that's so rude. And
Yep.
then and they're like, oh, we didn't. We just came in this door here and we sat down. And I go, oh, okay.
Okay.
Entire attitude change. Like, oh, well, that's why you don't have any.
Shocking.
Yeah, it's weird how that works. We actually store the menus at the front with the person who
That's in charge of
directs
them.
the flow of the restaurant.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird.
Wild. And then everybody's always like so shocked that I don't have menus on me. Like, our menus are fucking massive. Where do you
Right.
want me to keep this on me? They're like, oh, we just need 2 menus. Okay, let me go get those for you. And they're like,
You know what's another thing?
oh yeah, here. I actually just keep them in the back of my fucking pants all night. What do
Just
you
fold it
want?
up.
What do you want? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll start keeping a folded up one in my apron and be like, here you go. Unfold it. It's 8 times to get it to full size.
People are always shocked that we don't carry straws in our pockets either.
Well, they're not wrapped.
Well, first of all, they're not wrapped. Secondly, even if they are wrapped, that is a like a health hazard.
I used to.
I
used
mean,
to all the fucking time because I'm saving myself a step and I'm making the guests happy. But yeah, I do. And whenever they're like, and can I get a straw? And I'm like, yeah, let me go get them for you. They like look at my apron.
I
They're
get
always looking at my apron and they're like,
I get that when they ask, they were like, oh, can I get a straw? They're looking at my apron and I'm like,
These
yeah,
are
I can-
pens.
Yeah, I'm like, I can go get those for you.
Yeah, these are pens and this is my server book.
Right.
And my phone's in this pocket, but you
Please
can't see it.
Stop looking directly at my crotch.
At my crotch.
Like,
Do we have a straw?
I don't have a straw
not a
in there, I promise you. You don't want it if we do. They're paper.
Yeah, they're shitty ass fucking straws. But I'll go get you one.
The bartender that we have that's like my twin, right? Black hair, bangs, little septum piercing, works. She was a bartender.
Yes.
She recently stepped down.
I was like, bitch, there ain't nobody at work that looks like you.
She
Like,
does, though.
It's you and just you.
Well, yes, but also she's just a little girly pop
Right, yeah,
bartender,
yeah.
right?
Just call her Girly Pop. I'll know exactly who you're talking
Yeah.
about. That makes perfect sense.
So she recently stepped down from
Yeah.
bartending, and apparently, as she was working a serving shift, she was at the bar running drinks, and the GM looks at her and goes, "Gave up on bartending that easy, huh?"
Excuse me?
Wild.
You fucking do it.
Yeah. The server was like, "I'm losing money. Like, I'm not making any money behind the bar. I'm losing money, and I'm working more hours, and it's affecting my second job."
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? Like, you're constantly pulling me here to do these bartending shifts where I'm not making any money.
Right.
And I'm losing hours at my second job where I work in the morning. So I don't want to do it anymore. And yeah, the server was telling me, she was like, I don't know, like, I don't care, but also like, how rude
That
is
was
that?
super rude.
So
I would
rude.
have clapped back too. I would have been like, excuse me?
But of course, she backpedals right away. Oh, no, of course, you're so right. No, that's you're correct. You know, I get it. Da 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 da. It's like, then why'd you say anything?
Yeah, why speak at all?
She has the worst people skills of anyone I
Yeah.
have ever met in my life. I do not know how she got into the position that she is in. It makes no sense to me how she got this high in the company.
I don't get it. It's like we're just out of managers. They're just pulling from the dregs now.
I mean,
I
based
mean,
on
you
our
have
management team, I would
you
say
have
yes.
to have had at least some number of years experience, and she hit that qualification, I guess.
I guess, but
I
even
don't know.
our server manager, she doesn't have any restaurant experience. She has countertop experience. She worked as a general manager at countertop restaurants
Right.
or counter service.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any like sit down restaurant experience, and they directed her
Straight into senior
straight into
manager.
senior management.
Well, I heard that was the only way she would take the job.
Okay, then we don't hire her.
That,
Like,
uh-huh.
you know what I mean? Our new manager too, the MIT.
Yeah.
He's from our counter service up in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have any sit down restaurant experience either, but he's going to be front of house MIT.
Well,
He is starting at bottom.
Yeah, I was like, he's our lowest ranking manager, and that's fine. I think he'll do just fine.
I think he'll be fine.
I like him so far. He seems great.
So far, I have absolutely no issues with him. Love chatting with him. He's an absolute doll. I'm just saying, why do we keep hiring managers
Right.
for our sit-down restaurant that don't
Yeah,
have sit-down
are
restaurant experience?
better than, like not quite fine dining, but better than others.
Better than Applebee's, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And no, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Apparently, you can just be a shift leader at Jersey Mike's and you get the job. So
I don't talk to me about that kid right now. You're just gonna make me
I
mad.
just can't. Yesterday, I was lounge, and so I only have on a weekend night. The lounge only has 3 in rotation tables. I'm only in rotation for 3 tables.
But it's supposed to be 4.
It's 33, 34, and 35. 36 and 37 are self-seat tables, and they don't walk people over there from the host stand
No, never.
because they're
Those
high
are
top tables and it's
weird
awkward.
tables.
Yeah. So
They would have to squeeze past like bar stools
right,
and
and
stuff
you're
like that to get
bumping
to
up
'em.
against people. So I had asked our general manager, I was like, hey, do you think maybe in the future we can look into getting the lounge back to at least having 4
As they
assigned
should.
tables, like 4 in rotation tables? And she's like, well, not tonight. And I was like, I didn't say tonight. I said in the future. She's like, well, we don't seat more than 4 per person, even that's including self-seaters. And I'm like, that's not what our regional said. But just dropping it out there, like if you trust me to run the restaurant before anybody else gets here, but you don't trust me to have more than 3 assigned tables, like,
Right.
because there were points during my Saturday night where those tables were not sat. I didn't have 5 tables consistently all night.
Yeah, because on slower nights, people aren't self-seating.
No, there's no
main-
reason to.
The main point when we get self-seaters is when they come in to the front and they're like, oh, can we get a table? And they get a wait time. And they're
Right.
like, oh,
and then
we'll
they're
just go
like,
to the
no, we're
bar."
just going to go to the bar.
And
And,
then
then they end up at the high top every time.
Yeah, because they see an empty space. And they're
Right.
like,
And
"Oh,
it's
I'll just sit
more
here."
of a table.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then like maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, I see her come walking in with a party of 4 and she seats them at 37, that like awkward corner booth. And then she walks over to me and she's like, oh, I sat you. I'm like, at 37. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm aware of my section. I got this. And she's like, oh, I didn't know if you saw. And it's like, yeah, I did. And then I walk over and like, it's, a good size group of people. Like it's 4 people, all of like, heavier stature. And they don't fit well there. And it seemed a little uncomfortable. Like that's kind of like
I
the,
was gonna say it's a really skinny, like that half booth. That's
Yeah,
like,
it's
tall.
very skinny.
Very skinny.
yeah. And it's just like, oh, hey, like, I hope they weren't a reservation. And they're just like,
They got the shittiest table in the
yeah,
whole restaurant.
they're like 4 at 7:30, please. And we're just like, hey, fuck you, get over there. And you know what? Squeeze past because the bar top was full. So they literally had to squeeze past the corner of the bar top people to be like, excuse me, oh, this is our reserved table.
oh.
Ugh. We never sit that table. Like it's not a part of our
No.
rotation for a reason because it's not that great of a table.
Because
But could
it's-
you
yeah,
imagine if we did? If we're just like the minute people walk in, we go, put them at 37. And we're just like, fuck you, get over there. And they're like, oh, can we get some menus? And we're like, no, you don't get anything. I don't care about you.
Just throwing bread at him from behind.
Yeah,
the bar,
just
like,
here, take this.
Gang, what do you?
And they're like, it's missing some. And I'm like, no, shut up. No, I'm not.
There's a hole in the bread
Right.
as you're walking away chewing. Like, and
They're like, can we get some water? And I'm like, fuck you. Nobody cares. We just drop whatever we want at that table. It's just whatever didn't make it out to like
the dead
whatever,
food on the
whatever went
line.
wrong for other tables. We're just like, nah, give it to 37. And they're like, excuse me, this isn't what I ordered. And we're like, we don't care. Fuck you.
nobody took your order.
Yeah. Just have a dunce table. Just like one table a night gets fucking forced in this corner to get the shittiest service ever. We'll pull a what's that, Dick's Last Resort?
Oh,
yeah, we'll just pull one of those on that table and that table alone. And then they watch me turn around to
Everyone gets
36 and go,
great service.
hey guys, how's it going tonight? And they're like, oh, if we could just get your attention for a minute. I'm like, I said you shut the fuck up.
You're at 36, like, can I get you something to drink? Huh? Okay, great.
I give them what's left of this table's drink. When I give this one a refill, I'm like, here you go. And I'm like, yeah, here's some Coke. Shut the fuck up. just get all of our frustration out on this shit
What if it's
table
like,
in the
I'm
corner.
diabetic?
It's diet, I think.
Good luck.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun. I think we should do it.
There's no way.
No, fired. You're fired immediately, but it'd be a great way to go out. Like, how long do you think it would take before they went and talked to a manager?
2 seconds.
Immediately. They're
If
just
it
like,
was
I'm
me,
not putting up with
the
this.
minute they looked at me, they'd be like, no. No.
It's okay. We've had worse service.
That'd be me. So I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. So, speaking of awkward service, I went out to dinner with my mom the other night, and we had, a really adorable, cute server. She was so great, and it was me, my mom, and my son, and we all ended up ordering burgers. So she ordered the Impossible Burger, I got the Smash Burger, and my son just got the Kids Burger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I can only describe this man that walks up to our table as like, early to mid 40s and just fucking hates his life. Like the minute he walks up, he's also like, our booth was fairly low, and he's holding these plates like up here. And he's like, where do you want this? And I wasn't even paying attention because I was dealing with my son with something, and I go, oh, what is it? And he goes, it's a burger. I couldn't even make words, and my mom's just looking at him all like, oh, great, a burger. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, ugh. Okay. I was like, well, we all got burgers, so I got the smash burger. He's, yeah, it's a smash burger. He sets it down in front of me, and I go, okay, great. And at this time, he has lowered his hands a bit, so I can see that the next option is a kid's burger, so I take it from him. And he's like, is there anything else? And I was like, well, just her food. Like, she's not even, it's her birthday dinner, and she's not even eating anything. And so he goes off, and he gets it, and he comes back, and he's like, is that it? And I'm just like, well, I got a side salad and my mom got a side of fries. And so he leaves and he comes back with the salad right as our server comes up to speak to us. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, how's everything going? And I was like, honestly, we look great. We're just waiting on those fries over there. And he looks at her over, because our table's like in the middle. So both sides are open of our booth.
Okay.
So you can walk up to both sides of it. Mm-hmm. So he's over here and she's over here. And I was like, yeah, just those fries. And he looks at her and goes, they're working. And I'm like, and she goes, okay. Like, even she's like, what the fuck?
Oh, no.
And so then he walks away, and she's like, oh, did you guys need refills on anything? And I'm just like, no, not at all. We're doing great. And then mom did get another glass of wine. And then eventually her fries come out, and it wasn't him that dropped them off. It was somebody else.
Thank
but, like,
goodness.
I've never in my life have I had anybody walk up to me and be like, where do you want this? Probably on the fucking table, dog.
In my lap.
I don't know. Yeah, just set it on the floor and I'll get to it later. It's still... Actually, just give it to that table over there, because I don't know what the fuck it is. Where do you want this? And then he was like...
That's a wild statement to ask people.
And also, nobody was paying attention to him, so it's not like he walked up and said, hey, guys, where can I set this down for you? I've got the smash burger. No.
Yeah, you auction off food. You say, hey,
He said fucking nothing other than just, where do you want it? And he's holding the food so fucking high. Like, it's above my eye line. And I'm just like, what are you doing, dog? What's happening right now? Okay. And so then, yeah, he's, like I said, I was like, oh, what is it? It's a burger. Fuck.
Crazy. You specialize in burgers and have 15 on your menu. Can you tell me which one?
Can you tell me which burger it is? And then that's why I threw it back at him. I was like, we all got burgers. Hey.
Oh, that is wild. Did you ever ask the server what his deal was?
I did not. I was out to dinner with my mom. It was her birthday. I just wanted to have a birthday dinner.
I know. It's
I could have.
Other restaurant drama is some of my favorite shit. I don't know if you've ever noticed, like, when we go out and have a drink and I like...
Yeah, you immediately want to start talking shit.
I want to gossip. I want all the cheeseman. Like, give it to me. I will start up random conversations with bartenders. Be like, yo, what's going on with them? Like,
what happened there?
I live for it. It's such... I don't know.
I bet he is a problem at that restaurant too. Like,
I
dude,
can only imagine.
like we talked about before, like if you hit the point where you're fucking over it, just be over it,
Just
man. Like
quit,
it's
yeah.
okay. But yeah, and she was just, being adorable and trying her best. And that's why when he was like, yeah, they're working. And it's like, no one here at the table fucking knew that but you. So don't talk like that. Like, I'm so fucking over men talking to me,
Yeah.
like, in that tone of voice. It's just like, cut it the fuck out. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Also, you're here to do your job. I'm here to try to enjoy my meal. And I don't know.
As that server, I would have been pissed though, because who knows if he's affecting her tip.
Right.
Like, obviously not with you
No,
as a
never.
table,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Who knows? Other people might just be like, wow, the service here was like she was okay, but those
Yeah,
other
but this,
people
yeah,
were really like
this other guy
loud
or
and
whatever,
rude, and
yeah.
that could be affecting her money. Like, I would be pissed if I was that server.
Yeah, she seemed, totally fine. So she just kind of glossed right over it. But it was funny because, like I
She
said,
had to.
they're talking over us at this point. It's like he's looking at her over our heads.
So uncomfortable.
And I'm just like, like, what's going on?
Always feel so weird getting bad service when I go out places. You think
Yeah,
it's time to check
it's
out?
about time to check out.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.